Hi everyone, we are Tracy and Jacob. A few of you may know us as TJ Shack and on other social media as the Bronco Camper. We like to travel and explore places with our two sidekicks Jackson and Dean. In our 96 Ford Bronco equipped with a 96 Lightcraft pop-up camper, and we pull a small trailer. So come along with us. Life is an adventure and we all should enjoy it.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. When we originally shot this video, we had quite a bit of wind noise, and so we decided to do a voiceover for at least part of the video, so you wouldn't have to listen to all the wind noise. So here we go. Hey guys, my name is Jacob, and this is TJ Shack, our 1996 Ford Bronco. We've owned this rig for about 5 years, and we've made a lot of modifications to it. And so a lot of people like to know about it, so we figured we shoot a little video, do a walk around, and show you all the modifications we've made. So first thing we did is we added this bull bar. Well, not the first thing, but we added a bull bar so we have a place to mount the lights. And so we've got white lights, amber lights, work really well. Especially in the fog, those ambers, they really light up the road nicely. At the bottom of this rack, or it's not a rack, this bumper, we mounted a 4-inch tube in which we put an air hose that's connected to an air tank that's mounted underneath the vehicle on the passenger side. And then on the left side of this tube, I have a cap, and I can twist that cap off so I can get to my air hose, like so. It's a cheap cap, just a 4-inch sewer pipe with a cap on it. And there's my hose. This hose reaches all the way to the rear, also on the driver's side, and it allows me to air up my tires. The air tank is filled by an air compressor that's mounted under the hood. It's in place of the jack that originally came with the Bronco. We don't use that jack, and it gets its power from the power inside the rig. Up front we got a bug deflector, and then we mounted a wind deflector up here because we had quite a bit of wind that would pop that roof. And so we used something that's already on the rig, which is at the bottom of this bumper. There's this little valance. So we just ordered another one really cheap. Costs more to ship it than to buy it. We mounted it right there, and it really helps direct the wind from underneath that gap. And it gave us a place to mount the light. So never have enough lights. The rig is fairly heavy, probably a couple 100 pounds overweight. And so we really had to do some suspension work to get this rig to be safe on the road. So we installed the Desolate Stage 1.5 suspension kit with double Bilstein shocks, radius arm cross members. We have the Desolate Saginaw pump kit with the steering linkage and the Bergeson shaft. And we installed power stop brakes front and rear. Also the Atco heavy duty sway bar. And then while we were at it, we switched to manual locking hubs. So the side of the camper is pretty standard, all the normal utility stuff. We swapped out the refrigerator. It was a 3-way, and we switched it to a compressor fridge. Then on top we've got solar. We've got 3 solar panels up there, 2 150s and 1 100. And this one that's on this side of the rig, I put an actuator on, and it actually raises up to about 45-50 degrees to catch the early morning or late sun. Don't really have it up much. The rig doesn't consume that much power, or we don't consume that much power, and just laying flat keeps the batteries full. We added some gas shocks because I ain't getting any younger. So helped me lift that roof a little bit easier. The power comes down the side of the rig and enters right there. We've got a furnace, propane, heats up the little space really quick. A couple of minutes and it's warm in there. Got a water fill, goes to about an 8-gallon tank. And then we have a gray water drain that basically drains the sink into a bag that we stuffed in a helmet bag just to kind of shield it a little bit. Doesn't always look pretty, especially when you pour coffee down the sink. In the back we've got space for a 20-pound propane tank, and we have some other stuff in there, hoses, and we also have air back there. So we have a small air hose there to kind of blow off the dirt from the back, or to inflate or run tools. We got a pole right there, and we used to use it for Yagis to get a better cell phone signal. So we would stand this pole up straight in the air, mounted right there on the side, and I would point it towards the best cell signal. But now we have Starlink and we have WeBoost, so we don't really use it. We pretty much use it for a flagpole or to hang a shower on or something like that. Always handy to have a pole. So on the rear, we've got the WeBoost mounted right there, and I kind of usually move it to the side when I raise or lower the roof so it's out of the way. And the roof has nice extension. It's about 2.5 feet that it goes up in the air. I'm about 6'1", and I can stand in there just with lots of headroom, no problem at all. We got a shore plug, don't really use it much. Again, we don't really consume much power, so we can pretty much live off our batteries all the time. This is the old battery box, but we don't use it for batteries anymore. We also travel with a small trailer, and because we collect stuff, and this is a good place to store it. I'm gonna switch over here to the actual video, audio. I think the wind noise is pretty much gone here. So again, we've got the battery box right here with the camera, so I can see. We have a mirror on the front that shows the rear and the view and records stuff. Inside it though, there's no more battery, so we mounted a surge protector for in case we plug in somewhere. And I've got a small 400 watt inverter, which we only kind of use now for our Starlink, even though we do have a 12 volt option for Starlink. So we can go either way. We can go use 12 volt, or we can use the inverter. Got some additional stuff in here where we can charge stuff up, phones, batteries for the drone. Then on the bottom, again, when we initially got this thing, we didn't have a trailer, so storage was key. So it looks like a sewer hose tube, but again, it's just storage, electrical cords, other tools in there that we can get to if we need to. We got a little water spigot, just like any pop-up truck camper. Let's go to the other side, see if we got anything there. Actually, we can look at the trailer while we're going. Again, we bought this trailer used. Military gentleman welded this thing together. It's steel, it's heavy. This is also our bear box. So this is where we put our trash in at night, keep the bears out. And so it lifts up, got a lot of space inside, all kinds of goodies. We carry extra water, tools. It's got a tray inside that'll slide out this back door, so this back door opens up as well. Then we've got these, because the gentleman that had it before us used to have his tent right here on top. And this is what you use to stabilize it. And we use it if we're off kilter and we have to keep it from running downhill or whatever. got our famous, what do you call this thing? Hammock stand. Really nice. It just folds up, and it just sits on the back of the trailer. This morning we used it to kind of air out our sleeping bags. We've got on both sides, we got little ammo cans. They have like fire starters, all kinds of crap in there that, you know, we don't really use much. Doggy bag, you know, whatever needs to be out of the way. 2 tubes, and we've got hiking poles in here, you know, and then we've got some other stuff in here. What else? We got, oh yeah, for mosquito, you know, repellents. On the front, one more box. There you go. Again, lots of tools, levels, bags, fishing rods, bags, cooking tools, bungees, you know, all the stuff that you just can't live without. It's all in here. 5 gallons of gas, 5 gallons of gas. So we are in a guzzler, 10 miles to the gallon. When we're in the mountains, maybe 8 miles to the gallon. Again, on the rear end, we did quite a bit of work. So we installed leaf springs for an F-250, and we had to make some adjustments to those to make it work. Airbags also on the back, stabilizers, sway bars. So this thing, it's on the road like a race car. I mean, it's really very comfortable driving it at high speeds or off-road. For the airbags, we have, I think it's called airlift, so we can remote control individually the left or right airbag. It sometimes comes in handy to maybe level it out a little bit if we need to. We added a bracket to keep this door from falling or closing down so it stays open if we need it to. Inside we got ham radio just in case. Antenna mounted on the back. Not the best spot, but it's okay. Got a nice big window on this camper. Yep, big window on this camper that will open up, you know, like those Florida windows, kind of, I'm not sure what you call these, but they can be open while it's raining. On top of that, we've got our awning. So this is a Rhino rack bat wing, so this thing will go out 270 degrees all the way behind the back door. Really nice. We love this awning. Keeps us outside even when it's raining or when it's really just too hot or whatever. So we can be under here pretty much all the time. We can stake it down. This thing doesn't go anywhere. It can take a good wind gust. We haven't had any problems with it at all. So you can see the other solar panel here. So that's the stationary one that does not go up and down. It's just mounted flat. Show you a little bit about the front. So this was a really clean Bronco when we bought it. It was, again, it's a 96. But when we got it, it was in mint condition. And we put some miles on it. We got our dirty laundry. Usually we'll put that up front when we're stationary. Then on the front, I pulled out the radio and put a larger screen in there with CarPlay. Down below you can see the ham radio, and then we use this tablet right here, and we use Gaia and other apps to help us find spots. And then on top you can see the mirror, which will record my front and my rear as I'm driving. Really handy. All right, let's go around and let's take a look on the inside. As you can tell, the pop-up has a lot of windows. So there is 2, 4, 6, 7 windows. So when you're inside, I mean, you can look clear around, and you can also have a lot of breeze going through if you need to. All right, so this is driver's side. I'll show you a little bit. I'm gonna move this forward. got some stuff here I'm gonna take out of the way. All right, so this is sort of our battery setup behind the driver's seat. We got two 100 amp hour battle borns sitting right there, and then on this back wall we have a variety of stuff. So we have the RedArc Manager 30. We've got, of course, a thermostat for the heater. We added a lot of plugs. We basically gutted all the electrical and rewired this unit. So we've got USB every corner of this rig. Or cigarette lighters. We've got an extra radio here if we need to work on that. We've got outlets down here. What else we've got? A little fan for the refrigerator to help it cool. Let's go inside. So the camper came with a really nice step. And so it's just hitch mounted, and I basically slide my trailer back on the back of that hitch, and it's always pretty much there, unless you're going some crazy off roads where that's gonna bottom out. We'll have to take it out. All right. Right now the Dinette's down. We brought two little doggies with us, and they kind of like to lay up there. And I'm gonna let the camera kind of go in there for you, and I'll talk a little bit as we go. All right, we'll start right here in the back. So in here, we've got our favorite, emergency porta potty. We try to go outside as much as we can, but got a 3-burner stove sitting right under here, and we put some additional cutting boards because you need all the room again that we can have. We've got a switch right here for the RedArc inverter, so I can turn that inverter off from in here. This is Manager 30. I'm sure most people have seen it if they've seen RedArc, and I can see where my battery is. So right now we're at 97%. I can see how much I'm drawing. Anyway, there's all kinds of features there. Then in here used to be the old inverter, so we got rid of the old inverter because we rewired, and we opted to go with the Egon Hub. So we ordered this thing. I think at the time it was coming out of Australia. I'm not sure where they're coming from now. And so all these lights, plugs, USB plugs, fridge, fans, heater, all these dead end right here. And it's kind of nice because if you blow a fuse or whatever, they'll tell you exactly. It lights up, one of the LEDs lights up, so something is wrong. So we've got a little bit of documentation, so we know what goes to what fuse. And so it just happened to fit perfectly in the same space that the old inverter used to fit. So this is 96 is when it was built, and so it's really woodsy, but really clever. Very lightweight. They built it. Even like the drawers don't have any mechanism to lock it like the doors do. They were smart. They just said, just make them drop down, and they're not coming out. These have never come out while we're going off-road. Down here we've got water tank, about 8 gallons I think, and we've got some other stuff in here. So this is a control for the surge protector, and I can bypass it, or it'll tell me if there's an open ground or whatever, the regular stuff. This guy controls my solar panel on the roof. It allows me to, oh, that's the wrong one. Allows me to use remote control, and that roof solar panel will tilt about 45 degrees. This is actually for an air conditioning. We're out of Texas, so sometimes it's if we go camping out there, it's hot, and we will have an external AC mounted stationary outside the rig. We've got a thermostat here, and we will bring cold air in from that air conditioner underneath the seat, and usually I'll kind of pipe it up with a flexible hose. So we got drawers, fairly organized. More stuff, some of it's out right now. We've got, again, underneath the seats, we've got lots of storage. And we just cleaned this all up. We're gonna make it a mess. Anyway, so here, we got a very small tray that we can pull out. You know, it's got our toilet stuff, another bag for water, bear sprays, Velcro, duct tape, you name it. This is the pole for the table. So there's a dinette table that normally would go here. Let's see, it's down here. It's actually, we made this dinette table ourselves. It's right down here. We took this picture in Canada and decided to make a table out of it. Alright. So then on the other side, we've got, underneath we got some storage for now because we're not using the dinette. Yeah, I'll let you turn around. So in here, so we got a tray, and in it we got all our canned stuff, food stuff. Underneath it, we have more stuff, pans, pots, paper plates, paper towels. We got our heater right there. Our fridge, really small. That's really all we need, because it's a small rig. And usually, you know, you're within a few days from a city, so if you need to buy stuff, you can buy stuff. More storage underneath. Here, here, here. And then we've got another tray, just like that one, underneath this seat, right above this guy right there. We mounted our own fan. This rig did not come with a fan, so I used a industrial, very large computer fan, suck out the air when it gets hot, and just, you know, works perfect. It's been in here several years, hasn't let us down yet. Again, lots of windows on top, bed right here, and then of course underneath the bed we have a very small, thin mattress. That's because this has to come down, and there's no room. You know, all this has to fold down into here. So we have a maybe 3-inch mattress, which is I forgot what it's made of, but it's really comfortable. And then underneath the mattress, we use the Froley system, and we can adjust that. So like where my back is, I want it a little bit softer maybe. And so we have different configurations that you can set up. It's kind of loaded, but under the bed we got storage. So this is where our clothes go. This is mine, that's hers. Towels. And then also the unit came with all these additional pads that you can store. I mean, you can cover the windows with, the glass windows, to better insulate when you're in a very cold area. Up here we've got our pantry, homemade by my mom, Sophie. So I had her make this little pantry for us, and as soon as we come in, we just hang it up on the ceiling, and it's got all our pantry goods in there. Of course, we got this little tray under here for more storage, spices, water, either manual pump, or we have a switch to turn on the pump. And we can drain out through that little hose on the outside. We upgraded the lights a little bit, so we have lights. Of course, we have carbon monoxide, smoke alarms, and lots of windows. And then this guy Again, I'm kind of cheating, so I have a bar here. This bar, which goes in here. This is actually used to, when you're in a band and you want to set up your speakers up high, they use these lifts with a tripod at the bottom that hold up those heavy speakers. Well, I use that to lift my roof. So I actually stick that in there. There's a little crank right there. And I'll just crank up my roof until it by itself almost pops up with the shocks when it's about this high. And the rest just goes straight up. And then I just lock those in place. Anyway, so the nice thing about this camper obviously is that it's open to the front. There is no wall. This is not a truck. This is the Bronco. And the Bronco is open. And so when they installed this camper, they installed it the same year this camper was made. I mean, the Bronco was made. So in '96, the first owner bought this truck, took it to Lightcraft, and they installed the camper. So everything you see, the vinyls, the roof, it's all from 1996. It's 27 years old. Let's see. I think that's it, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. And a pot rack, everything is sort of, once we get somewhere, we just hang things and get things stationary. Hope you enjoyed it. Y'all take care. Have fun.